Hey, it's Emily Wardrop from Drop the Word Life Coaching, and cute little Eve Wardrop is back there learning how to crawl. Do you want to see the distracting dog in the background? I know she's not a dog. Sometimes coaches have dogs in the background. I got babies. So today we're going to talk about no regrets. Okay, so today is my son's 8th birthday. I've been a mom for 8 years, plus 10 months. It's a real deal as soon as you get pregnant. Okay, so the birthday does not start the motherhood. The conception does, in my opinion. So on birthdays, I think about this a lot, and holidays, because one reason, there's more cutie, is my sister's very into birthday parties, and she is one of those cutesy Etsy mom types, that's all about the I guess it's called a Pinterest mom. See, I'm so Pinteresty that I called it the wrong thing. You can buy stuff on Etsy to decorate, like for Pinterest, right? I kind of know what these things are. Anyway, definitely not a Pinterest mom myself. I've always avoided the addiction of Pinterest, actually. But my sister loves it, right? And she actually had a son a couple days after I did. And for the first few birthdays, I get to tag along on her fun birthday parties because she does the cutest themes with the cutest decorations and the cutest snacks and the cutest games. And it's all the cutest. And it's so fun. And I super appreciate it. And I think that it's really awesome, but it's definitely not my thing. Okay. There's a lot of things like that, right, in our lives that it's just not our thing. Okay. And we can make that a problem, or we can just not make it a problem, right? And one of the reasons that things become a problem is the idea of regret, okay? So I think about the very low-key birthday that this kid is gonna have, and I'm 100% fine with it because that's all I wanna do. And I'm totally fine asking grandma to be in charge of cupcakes and ice cream. And she's bought tablecloths and decorations, and we're going to his uncle's house because they like to celebrate there. And the decorations in our house are very, 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 very minimal. And I could decide to regret that already. I can feel the emotion of regret because of my thoughts, like, oh, that poor kid. Oh, his mom is such a slacker. Oh, I can't believe that I am not as cute as my sister. Oh my goodness, the thoughts, right? So those thoughts can make me feel regret for how I decide to celebrate my kids' birthdays or holidays, even worse. I'm like, grandma goes all out. And so they have amazing holiday celebrations. And I've decided, this is the key, right? Is that it's a decision. I've decided that that's amazing and that's awesome. And I'm glad that she's doing that. And I have no regret on my participation on my part of how the holidays go. Okay. I do what I want to do. And that's great. That's perfect. That's enough. That's exactly what my kids needed. I am the perfect mom for these kids. It's one of my favorite thoughts, right? That I like to share and think myself. So no regret. The thing about regret is it lives in the past. Usually it's thoughts about the past. And so it could have even been 5 minutes ago, maybe you yelled at your kid 5 minutes ago and now you're feeling regret about that. You can decide no regret. Like what I did. And I suggest it actually, because one of the very most basic first steps in all of the coaching that I always do is acceptance. Okay. So accepting what is and accepting what happened, like what was, whether it's 5 minutes ago, 5 years ago, or this is an interesting thing we do is that we regret ahead of time, right? So I'm like, oh, this birthday, like we haven't even celebrated it yet. I still have plenty of hours while he's at school to go all out and do whatever it is that I think that I need to do in order to not feel regret later. Instead, I'm just going to sit here and feel regret beforehand. Like the occasion hasn't even passed yet. And I already am deciding how I'm going to think about it later because it's a decision either way. So I can decide I'm going to have no regret, or I'm deciding right now that someday I'm going to regret this. Isn't that a silly thing that we do with our brains? It's so funny. And so when we have awareness of this, then we can not do it, basically, right? So I've decided no regrets on holidays. What do you need to decide about no regrets? Maybe it is about yelling at your kids, like, I'm really working on this right now, but I'm still emotionally reactive and I still do things in the heat of the moment that I wish that I didn't do later. Wish I didn't do later. That's regret. You feel regret because you think, I wish I hadn't done that, right? And that's all part of my plan and it's all good. But starting now, I'm not going to think that anymore, right? It happened and how I reacted to it in the past is in the past. And now in the future, going forward, I decide no regrets. Like, I'm doing the best I can. And that means I'm going to slip up. And God has a plan for this. And I can heal and I can repent and I can change. And beating myself up does not help in any of that process. So regret is part of the beating yourself up process that we're just going to stop it, right? Okay, so no regrets, my friends. Enjoy living regret-free. Don't regret it ahead of time. Don't regret it after the fact. It's a decision. I decide. And the reason why it's a decision is we have control over the T line, right? Our thoughts. So if you don't want to feel regret, then you just control your own thoughts so that you don't have to feel it. You just think things like, yep, that happened. Yep, that was the best I could do that day. Yep, that's great. I'm the perfect mom for these kids. All these thoughts, right? I gave you a few of them. So what's she doing? Is she crawling yet back there? Are you crawling, baby? Did she get up at all, or is she just doing that airplane flying thing? I haven't really been watching. Okay, there you go. There's your message for today. I will see you next week. Let all your friends know that there's this amazing email list they could get on to get all these messages straight to their inbox. Send them to dropthewarlifecoach.com and we can all live without regret. Isn't this a great message that we all need? There she goes. She's up. She's up. She gets up and then she moves backwards, right? You get all sorts of lessons we could learn about a baby crawling, huh? That's a great visual right there. I regret that I gave the wrong message. It shouldn't have been about regret with the baby crawling in the background. It should be about resilience. Look at all that resilience she's got going on here. What is she chewing on? Did you find something on the floor? She's just chewing on her tongue. Okay, see you next week. Say bye, Eve. Oh, yes, it's so good. Okay, say bye. For real, I'm hitting stop now. Okay, see you next week.